flight controllers in Dulles, Virginia, relaying vehicle status and updates back to teams here in Mission Control Houston. And Northrop Grumman Mission Director Paul Brower is monitoring the teams and controllers in the Northrop Grumman Flight Control Center there in Dulles, Virginia.
1.102, Cygnus approach and retreat monitoring.
Copy, and we have tally on Cygnus.
Houston copies.
And getting our first view now of Cygnus as it approaches the International Space Station. Cygnus is approaching what's called the 250-meter hold point. This is one of the hold points just outside the keep-out sphere and one of the milestones designed into Cygnus approach. Once Cygnus reaches that 250-meter hold, teams will run a series of checks and a go, no-go poll from the flight controllers before Cygnus departs that 250-meter hold for the next milestone, which will be the 30-meter hold point. That'll be the last milestone to make sure all of the systems are a go before Cygnus gets about 10 to 12 meters from the International Space Station. And when Cygnus arrives to that capture point this morning, NASA astronaut Drew Morgan will capture the spacecraft with the station's Canadarm2 robotic arm backed up by Jessica Meir of NASA. Following that, the controls of the robotic arm will be handed over to robotics officers on the ground who will then bring Cygnus closer into the station for installation later this morning. This cargo resupply mission started about 3 days ago when Cygnus launched atop an Antares 230 Plus rocket Saturday, February 15th at 2:21 p.m. Central from Pad 0A at NASA's Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia. At the time of launch, the International Space Station was flying 258 statute miles over the western Pacific, and about an hour later, solar arrays were deployed and Cygnus continued its journey to the International Space Station. Since then, Cygnus has performed a series of rendezvous burns to fine-tune its path to the International Space Station, where it will arrive this morning around 3:05 a.m. Central Time. Again, getting a view now of Cygnus approaching that 250-meter hold point. Cygnus is now just about 766 meters away from the International Space Station. This resupply mission is delivering about 7,500 pounds of science, research, crew supplies, and vehicle hardware to the International Space Station this morning. Of that 7,500 pounds of cargo is about 2,129 pounds of science investigations. One of those science investigations is the Mobile Space Lab investigation, which is a tissue and cell culturing facility that launches and returns on space station resupply vehicles to offer investigators a quick turnaround platform and to perform sophisticated biology experiments in microgravity. The Mobile Space Lab can perform a biology experiment without the need for crew operations. Another investigation is the Sapphire 4 investigation. Understanding how fires spread in space is vital for developing flame-resistant materials and fire prevention measures, but it's difficult to perform flame growth and prevention experiments aboard a spacecraft. The Sapphire 4 investigation uses the Cygnus resupply vehicle after it leaves the station to examine fire growth in different materials and environmental conditions. It also demonstrates fire detection, monitoring, and post-fire cleanup capabilities. These are just two of hundreds of experiments currently going on aboard this space station. Research experiments like these two are essential to support future deep space exploration for missions to the moon and onto Mars. Confirmation from Capcom Steven Zenter that Cygnus is holding steady. Cygnus is now about 330 meters from the station now. Cygnus is now just under 310 meters away from the International Space Station on its way to one of the first milestones built in to Cygnus's approach today, which is the 250-meter hold point. The range and rate we're getting right now is decreasing as expected when approaching that hold point. And once we reach that hold point at 250 meters, Cygnus will maintain that altitude as teams run a series of checks before departing again to the next milestone.